So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom, and this is the T-150, the Tier 6 Russian heavy tank. This is the tank you get to after the KV-1. Let's have a quick look in the tech tree for this. So, I hope I came on the right tech tree. So yes, you come down the T-46, T-28, KV-1, the excellent KV-1, into the T-150, and then onto the KV-3, KV-4, SD1, and the IS-4. So these guys, generally this line of tanks from the KV-1 onwards are renowned for their very good armour, pretty reasonable gun, but tends to have a bit of accuracy issues, but tend to be sort of the sort of grunts, the heavy, the sort of typical Russian heavy tanks. Now actually, ironically, this one's got one of the better guns of any of this line in terms of, you know, kind of where it is on tier for tier, but we'll get on to that in a minute. So T-150, it's a nice looking tank, isn't it? It's a big tank. That's the first thing you'll notice about this when you come off the KV-1, which is a pretty big tank, and this is bigger still. There you go. That's the KV-1. And then the T-150. So let's look at it in a little bit of detail. First up to say on this, it is a god-awful grind to get to the decent gun. I'm afraid there's no other way of putting this. It is horrible. You need to get to this 107mm gun. This is the gun that makes this tank and makes it really effective as a heavy tank. Up to that point, you're having to manage with 122 derp or the 85mm, which is outclassed really at this kind of tier. It's a tier 6 tank, so it will see tier 8s, and good luck trying to pen anything with a tier 6 gun like that has, what is it, average penetration 119. Even your gold shells 159. You've got very little chance. You move on to the big gun, 167 and 219 with gold shells. So yeah, you need to get through to that gun very quickly, but unfortunately you will need to get the tracks and you will need to get this extra turret before you can get onto it. And the other thing about this grind is that it doesn't lead anywhere. So if you want to move on up to the KV-3, KV-4, it doesn't come off the turret and gun, which is the normal thing on the tech tree. It comes off the engine. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. However, if you've got it, you'll then have the gun, the top gun on the KV-3, and it's always cheaper to research it on the lower tier tank. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So bloody awful grind is how you would say about the T-150. But when you get there, this gun is actually not bad at all. 107mm, 5.88 rounds per minute, 167 penetration, 219 with premium, 54 with HE, an average damage of 300 per shot. Dispersion is not great, 0.46, 4 or 5 even. Even Russian tanks, that's pretty inaccurate. So this isn't a snipey tank. You need to get into people's faces and use the fairly good rate of fire on this thing to dish out some damage. It also has a god-awful aim time of 3.4 seconds. Again, you need to get in close. You need to get this thing working and working quickly. Let me just double check on its so with this crew, and it's a pretty reasonable crew. I've moved crews through this tank several occasions, kept hold of it because I like it. They have their first skill, they're 80% on their second skill, and I'm with a gun rammer, I'm getting just over 2000 damage per minute, which is not bad at all. My aim time is now down to 2.9, dispersion down to 0.42. So again, you're not going to be sniping with this thing really. You may hit one in a blue moon, you know, if you've been what's the phrase? If you've been sacrificing dissidents to the gulag, then you might hit a few shots at long range, but realistically you're not. Turret traverse 25.6 is pretty slow, but it is a heavy tank. But gun depression is actually surprisingly reasonable, -7 degrees. is not too bad for a Russian tank, that is. But where this thing is really juicy is its armour. It has very good armour. Only 90mm on the front, but it's quite well angled and it's surprisingly thick when you come down to it. So, and it is all round, well, front and side, 75 at the rear. So you will bounce shells, and those tracks are enormous. And again, we'll eat shells. So yeah, that's all cool. Turret 100, which is a little bit, and it's a bit flat, so that's not ideal. But we'll have a look at this in a little bit more detail in Tanks GG. So here we are in Tanks GG. You can see the T-150 in its undergarments, so to speak. So that armour, it's fairly flat down this central section here. So looking straight out, and see again this sort of, it's not quite lower plate, but it's a sort of middle plate there. It's slightly angled. That gives you 98 degrees of penetration. The bottom, the lower plate actually is very well angled, so that's 140, nearly 150. Top plate 120, 130, so that's not great. But 130 to 140 on the upper bit, so it's very sectionalized. If you're facing one of these things, really this panel here, if you've got over 100mm penetration, is easily go throughable. Or this strip here, it's fairly flat, and this thing, if it's looking straight at you, is only 90. 75 in this observation, I guess it's the driver's viewport, 60, 70 there, and only 75 in the machine gun port. Of course, when it starts angling, these values go crazy. So 100, even on that thinner bit there, that's 100, 160 there, 170, and even the side armor here, 140, 150. The tracks will eat everything because they're 20mm of spaced armor plus the under armor. So you can see angling this thing is a brute. Turret, when you look straight at it, is pretty good as well. This it looks very flat normally, but when it's coming at you, because it's very rounded, this is very good and bouncing 200 plus penetration values there. Look at that, as you get out to the edge, 200 almost. Round the gun mantle is actually surprisingly not well. Actually, the part of this is great, but there are a couple of holes here. So that's got 90mm spaced armor and nothing behind. Has 100 there, so that's almost impenetrable. But around this side here, each side of the gun, to the left and right, and also up and above, not too far up, but just a little bit round the edge of the gun, there's no armor behind. So as I say, this tank is fantastic at side scraping. You get this into a nice angle like this, your frontal armor goes crazy, 190s, 160s, even the side armor 160. So yeah, really monstrously good. This side is very flat on the turret, still 100mm there, but it is flat. So if you've got 100 plus, you will go through that, and most tanks do it. This tier rear armor is pretty garbagey, as you'd expect, and this engine compartment here is very big and very juicy for artillery to land on, as is the top of the tank here. So overall, good strong armor. See, the cupola there is 80, 75, 80. But to be honest, you might as well shoot it in the machine gun port or the driver's viewport, because those are easier to pen. Yeah, so rather than chancing your arm for the cupola, but then of course I guess if this is hull down and that's all you can see, then that's pretty pokey. So good strong tank, good armor, nice for side scraping, a real brawler in the best sense of the word. So pretty reasonable armor for a tier 6 tank. Where it falls down again is its mobility. It's the Russian heavy. They're pretty slow on the whole. 55 tons, 700 horsepower engine at the top engine, but it only has a power ratio of 12.7, which is not great. Top speed of 35 and 11 in reverse, and the hull speed rotation is 20.3. So again, you will get circled by speedy things and even reasonably fast mediums. Concealment, don't even make me laugh. Don't even try. Base viewing range is 320, and radio range is 360, I think it is. Anyway, nobody cares about that at all. So overall, this thing is a really good, well armoured, really. I mean, 90mm all armour, with which, if you angle it right, can give you, 120, 130, which is pretty effective at tier 6. Very good at side scraping because of that thick side armour, and pretty good turret, really. Although it's a bit square on the sides, it's pretty good on the front, and the gun mantle is okay as well. So gun is very good and has a pretty good rate of fire, although its accuracy is pants. And it hit points, I didn't mention that, did I? Hit points 880 is very good indeed for a tier 6. So it's a breakthrough tank. You've got to push your way through, you've got to blast your way through. Weaknesses of the thing, mobility definitely, and traverse speed. It takes a while to get going, and if you get circled you will probably die. Accuracy is horrible, and that grind for the top gun is god awful. If you've got some free XP, I advise you to use it, because you're going to be pulling your hair out and wonder why the hell you played this tank. Overall though, good tank, solid Russian heavy tank. It'll give you a feel of what it's like to play any of these tanks down the KV line, because it's just stereotypical heavy slab of Russian steel. But enough of that, let's go and take it out and play a couple of games. So first up, Murovanka, I can never pronounce it properly. Tier 7 game. Well, we're slow, we're heavy. There's no point us messing around in the woods, much as I'd love to. There's only one place for a heavy in this in encounter mode, as far as I'm concerned, and that's getting towards and on the cap. So let's go and do that. Enemy have got 2 heavies, we've got 2 heavies. Both of their heavies are platooned together, so if we see one, we're bound to see the other. But the benefit of those is they're tier 5 heavies. I am a tier 6. What else have we got on our team? A KV1, tier 5, so let's hope. Looks like he's coming my way, which is good. Useful looking T-71 player. Excuse me. To lead the way in, which is what I need. See what we're up against. View range, as I said, is god awful on this thing. You virtually have to run into things before you know what you're seeing. Even then you probably wouldn't spot it. But you see, you keep it on the flat, you can get a reasonable amount of speed. Once it just takes a while to get going, and I'm quicker than that KV1, that's for sure. Where is he going? Why is he going that side? No sign of the T1s. I bet they're coming this way. Oh, yep, there you go. Knew they would be. Now I fancy my chances against those, even though there are 2 of them. Not going to waste a shell there. That's better. Nice big, a bit of a low roll actually. Artie messed us up, so I missed the shot. He's down. It's worth taking the hit. Only did 100 hit to me. And we've taken the cap. Oh, there's a... pushing through. Get rid of him. I've had enough of this arty peeing me off. No chance with a stun on. Oh, it's bloody arty! You trapped me as well, so there's no point in repairing. I can't. Taking out the stun. I killed my driver as well. That helps. Tell you what, the inaccuracy of this gun is brilliant, and then when you factor in being stunned, see if, I couldn't get a shot. Don't know why I'm coming up here, I can't see a bloody thing. Good, they're after you out the game. Oh, for God's sake, missed him. And then got taken out by Speak from behind. Oh, that'll be why. Well, not exactly a brilliant game in the thing, but you see the effect. You've got to bulldoze your way in. You're a big, heavy tank. There's no finesse in these Russian KV tanks. You just bulldoze your way through. And that's what you've got to try and do. That was third class. We got duelist. Finished fourth on the team on base XP, 494 damage, 2 kills, 539 experience. I mean, the beauty of bulldozing your way in is you tend to get a lot of spotting damage as well, because everyone's behind you and they take advantage of what you see. And sure enough, 680 assistance damage there. Only did 500 damage myself. Fired 6 shots, hit with 3. I mean, several of those shots were fired when I was under stun at long range, so you know you're really going to struggle to do anything with that. 8 shots received, 6 of which penned, 2 didn't. I think those T1s were firing gold at me, but hey, that's the way it works. 22,000 skill rounds after all. 22,000 credits, just under 16,000 profit. And a nice ×5 for this game gave me 4,000 experience. Let's try it again. See if we can get a better matchup. Really, these Russian heavies are in their element when they're in cities. So I'm in a marsh. Oh dear. However, no, I was going to say they haven't got many heavies, but then neither do we. Obviously Swamp tier 8 game, so doesn't get a lot worse than this. Oh, we'll go up to Heavy Alley. Really want to show you some side scraping if I can. Fast on this IS, he can't have the top engine. He must be fairly stock, because I'm pretty sure the IS is quicker than I am. Oh, you knobby. Get a thank you. Thanks. Okay, good. That'll do. It's almost a thank you. No, don't cut me off. Let's try and look at the IS. So yeah, he only played 17 games in this thing. So although he looks like he's got the top gun, he hasn't got the top engine. Oh dear. Might have to go to the skill round earlier than I thought. Because there's quite a lot of heavies there. Oh, we're 3-0 down. A cheap kill. Thanks to that where's that Tiger one? Why had an IS behind me? Back in there. He's down. Did rather better than we expected against all these heavies. That Hellcat got in a nice position. Can we hit a long range shot here? No. Absolutely nowhere near him. I bounced off him, would you believe, at that range? With this gun. Missed him. They've still got 2 RT, which is a bit of a bummer. Lost me my turret, but so I'll keep that type off my back. Come on, one more go. He's down. Whoa! Shit, didn't want to see him. He'll outload me. He'll fire before I do. Come on, reload, reload, reload. Oh, I bounced. He's down. Thank God for that. Those things have the highest DPM pretty much any tank in the game. Whoa, what a match so far. We've had a beauty, 2,500 damage nearly. 3 kills. Trouble is that we're up against an ISU and a Scorpion G. That's not.
User joined your channel. User left your channel.
Excuse me. Oh. What's happening? That was weird. Lost control of my tank there. Damn. Karati's screwed. Yeah, he's screwed. Might have to load a skill round here. Those ISUs have thick armour, along with a big arse gun. This doesn't feel good. No, we've lost our scout now. Where did he go? Where did he go? Not that quick. How the hell did he get away? One that worries me is the Scorpion. Aim in. That's a better hit. No shot on him. Decap what? There's nothing capping. I'll get my gun down on him. Oh. I'm screwed. Nothing I can do about him. Right behind me. Damn! There's the -7 gun depression. Could not get the gun down. Oh well, gave it a go. Gave it a good shot. Nearly turned it around. Nearly turned it around. Good game though. Really good game. Don't see this guy can do anything on his own. There's no chance really, is there? He's on his way. Cromwell knows he just needs to get round behind him. And that's it. Good night. Well, heck of a game though. Heck of a game. And we gave it a shot. We gave it a really good go. And you can see the effect of that T-150. It's actually surprisingly durable. I mean, that was a bottom tier game. And, you know, we had a really good game in that. That would have been, I'm sure that would have been an ace tanker and a win. But second class, fire for effect and bruiser. Finished up top of the team, 2,700 damage, 3 kills, 864 base XP. 16 shots, hit with 13, penned with 10. 2,700 as we said. Took 7 hits in return, 2 of which bounced, everything else penned. We were bottom tier after all. Nearly 1,000 assistance. Did fire some gold, 51,000 credits. So we actually made 26,000 near enough, and 1,200 experience. Shame. Good game. Anyway, there's the T-150. Really, really nice tank. Really good fun tank to play. Thoroughly recommend it. Just that grind to that top gun is a biatch. So if you've got some free XP, use it if I was you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. This has been Gamer Dom. Enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take them too seriously. It is just a game after all. I'll see you again. Gamer Dom out.